So here we go. Week 5, Sigs picks. Guest, friend of the show, Jackson Cline is here.
Truly.
Probably the biggest Steelers fan I know. A little bit delusional. A lot of bit delusional. So now, well, DeBoer's not here today, but it's me against 2 Steelers fans. So we'll see how this goes.
Oh, Jordan's a Steelers guy. I didn't even know Jordan was a Steelers guy. Let's go.
Unfortunately.
Man, I am Steelers Bears fan over here.
Steelers Bears fan. Well,
I was ecstatic when Money Mitch came over, and then he shit the bed.
I was pulling up all my Mitch memes. I used to send Sam Hirsch back in the day. Big Chicago Bear. You guys probably don't even know Sam.
I know Sam.
I've heard the name.
I was debating on throwing him in the chat of me just making fun of Mitch Trubisky every day when Pittsburgh signed him, but yeah, I can send him out there now that we got our guy for the next 15 years, so we're good.
All right. So what we usually do is we go through what happened last week, then we'll touch on what's coming up this week and throw some of our picks in there. So we'll start out first game that obviously we need to touch on. The Jets and the Steelers.
Yeah.
So just for a little bit of background on this one, I just came off of watching the Browns blow it to the Falcons, so I was absolutely devastated. Then this came on, and I got to watch Zach Wilson absolutely drive down the heart of Pittsburgh's defense, get the W. So that made me feel a little bit better. But the Jets covered. They actually won outright. And now they're 2-1 against the AFC North? Beat the Browns, beat the Steelers, lost to the Bengals.
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of getting to the North. But, I mean, that game wasn't really much except for the Steelers just looked like shit, honestly. I mean, Mitchell couldn't do anything on offense. The defense looked pretty much lost, as they always do without TJ Watt. And I mean, the only upside, I guess, is like Pickett went in there, obviously not for too long, but he didn't do bad. Those picks and stuff, too. I mean, the one was a Hail Mary. The other one is debatably not really his fault. So
yeah, Chase Claypool fucking stinks. Get him out of town fucking yesterday. I'm tired of him. He sucks. Can't catch. I hate everything. I've never hated a Steeler more than I hate Chase Claypool. Ever.
That guy does suck. But
he had that one like 4 touchdown game and dipped. That was pretty much all he did. Honestly,
it kills me because being from Mentor, Ohio, obviously, I always want to support Mitch Trubisky, but obviously he wasn't getting it done. He's been pretty bad this year. I mean, we just got to be honest about it.
I think the dude he was just playing not to lose the job. He wasn't playing to win football games. He was playing safe, throwing. He's scared to push it downfield. I think he's got a little bit of talent, but he's not going to be the guy anywhere. He'll be a career backup, and
he showed
that's a pretty good
confidence.
Good for him.
And Matt Canada showed absolutely no confidence in him, and it just showed. They couldn't push the ball down the field with him.
Okay. So to keep rolling here, like we talked about, they ended up putting Kenny Pickett in. It was a little bit of everything, a roller coaster. He ran for 2 touchdowns. He also threw 3 picks, and everybody's defending him, saying, "Oh, they weren't his fault." I get the Hail Mary at the end. You're just chucking it up and hoping someone comes down with it in the end zone. But also, he seems to, I don't know. The other 2 I watched, he kind of like floats them, and they're a little bit behind. I mean, Claypool honestly could have got the one, but
he's got to make a play on that. That's what he's out there for.
Yeah, but it was floating and it was behind him. So
the ball to Freiermuth, it was a dumb throw, but still could have been caught. It took a bad bounce. What are you gonna do?
It was his first regular season NFL action, so we'll see what happens. He has a brutal slate of games coming up, though, so I feel for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It'll be a tough one for him. That Bills is no joke.
They play the Bills, the Bucks, Dolphins. It's just I don't know. He might have a rough welcoming to the league. I do also want to mention when Baker came in, his first NFL action, was against the Jets, but he actually beat them. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but also it's Baker Mayfield and the Browns. So the Browns just find a way to lose to the Jets every single year. Steelers, this is a rough year for them.
No, that was our Baker. That was when Baker got us.
Mm-hmm.
That was our first one. Yeah.
Didn't like Tyrod Taylor go out? Did you guys have Tyrod? No, or was it? Yeah, it was Tyrod Taylor, right?
Yeah, I was at that game. Tyrod got hurt. And then Baker honestly was just lighting them up. We came back and won, opened up the beer fridges, and then Hugh Jackson was like, "Oh, we still don't know who the starter's going to be going forward," because that guy was a fucking idiot. But yeah, another thing to look for if you have Pickens in fantasy, I think that Pickett's going to take some more shots and he's going to be utilized more.
I've got him on the bench in both my leagues.
And then a guy who came back this week, so you don't have to watch 90-year-old Joe Flacco anymore, is MILF Hunter Zach Wilson. He actually caught a touchdown, threw a touchdown.
As bad as he looked the entire game, those last two drives were, I mean, damn near perfect quarterbacking.
Yeah, he's inconsistent, but he's definitely shown that he could be a solid quarterback. I mean, he's super young too. But yeah, you guys have anything else to touch on for the Steelers? I guess if anything, they'll be a little less boring to watch.
Yeah, Chase Claypool fucking stinks. Get him off the team. I don't care who we trade him for. Get him off the team. But no, dude, Kenny. I like Kenny. I heard Jersey Jerry from Barstool tell a story one of the preseason games of one of Matt Canada's fucking bullshit little check down throws that he likes to do on third, and not even long, 3rd, 7, and 8. And he heard Kenny Pickett, a rookie in the preseason, scream at Mike Tomlin from the field, "Let me throw the fucking ball." That's all I need. That's all I needed to hear. That's my guy forever. I don't care what he does his next few games. That's my guy.
Well, we're hoping Browns fans are hoping for more of the same. Throw into the other guys. He was 13 of 13. The only thing was 3 of them were to defenders.
Hey, Big Ben threw a pick six his first NFL throw. Fine.
I don't get the comparisons to Big Ben after a loss to the Jets, but we're just gonna keep rolling. All right. Well, the other game that we wanted to touch on to start out was the Browns and the Falcons. I'm sure opposite of me, it made you guys feel a little bit better that the Browns lost to against. It was just frustrating because Mariota really stinks, and they literally had no passing attack, and they just ran it down our throats the entire second half.
They completed 7 passes in the entire game.
Yeah, our defense makes no adjustments. They ran it like 10 straight times one drive and scored a touchdown. It's like, just pack the box. You know they're going to run. But yeah. Nick Chubb's a beast. 118 yards, touchdown. I think he's the leading rusher in the NFL right now. What else did I want to touch on? There was, I guess, if you want to give a little bit of relief to the Browns, there was no Clowney, there was no Myles Garrett, and there was no Anthony Walker. So the defense is depleted, but it was still just a pathetic game to lose. We left points on the board. Stefanski ran a sweep play to a tight end. It was one of the dumbest play calls I've ever seen in my life. It's just, my entire life, the Browns find ways to lose, and they did it again. So I don't know if you guys have anything to say about this, but
I loved the Browns in that game too.
What'd you say?
I loved the Browns in that game. I got 2 rules of betting. I don't bet for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't bet against the Browns because it fucks me every single time. But I almost put the Browns in every one of my teasers parlays this week, and thank God I didn't because fucking Browns is the Browns.
Yeah, I did tell Jordan at the tailgate that I just had a feeling this is a game that the Browns would find a way to lose. Just the gut feeling, and they found a way to lose. So I guess go with your gut.
I'm just mad that I said was taking whoever's playing the Steelers, taking their money line every single game this year as long as Mitch Trubisky's starting. Jets made me some money, but that's all over now, I guess. Might have to just start betting the Browns to hedge my happiness that way.
All right. So this was obviously we touched on the 2 homer games first, but this was the Thursday night game last week. Bengals beat the Dolphins, and it looks like the Bengals are starting to look kind of more like the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. But the big story of the game was obviously Tua having a legit seizure on the field because somehow he got cleared to play again and got taken down, smacked his head on the ground, and was pretty much out cold.
I did watch this one, and I'm about over all the Joe Burrow hype, man. He's gonna be the third best quarterback in his division, and I don't get the hype. They went on a good run last year, but they weren't anything special in the regular season last year. They got hot, but they
did get hot at the end of the year. I don't know. Joe Burrow, I just watching him in college and in the NFL, it's like he's not necessarily the most impressive guy, but he just finds ways to win games, which is really all that you need. And especially with how the North is playing out this year, I think they're going to be in it towards the end again. But yeah, just an update. I think they announced that the doctor who cleared Tua to play, or one of the doctors that was involved in that, got fired during the investigation because he against the Bills. It was a short week, and on Sunday against the Bills, he got taken down and literally was stumbling over. And what did they frame it as, a back issue?
Yeah, I think that's what Tua said it was.
He didn't reach for his back one time, so I don't know who hurts their back and then doesn't even usually when you get hurt, you go to whatever I don't know. But
yeah, that doctor got fired, and they're already looking to change the concussion protocols.
They're already
big on it.
Moving forward, they got Teddy Two Gloves. He's actually
they do.
He's not a bad backup, so I think they're going to be all right. They still have a solid defense, and I think they might get undervalued just because Tua's out. But we'll see how that goes moving forward.
Their only good drive of the game was Teddy's first drive coming in.
Yeah, that's true.
Any quarterback that wears 2 gloves, fucking elite in my book. So
don't really care about this game. Only thing to note is Derrick Henry scoring points in fantasy again.
I don't fucking want to hear anything about the Colts. This team stinks. This game is giving me full-blown AIDS. I can't.
Yeah, we should have known the under.
How a team can be so bad.
The under on this Thursday night game was a lock.
We'll see.
This is another one of Jordan's favorites, right? The Chargers.
Yeah, fuck with the Chargers. Herbert, he's just a man playing against boys out there some weeks.
I love Justin Herbert.
And then I feel like Eckler had a breakout game in fantasy. He's always a good fantasy player, but 3 tuds, it's just running it up. So
yeah,
good for him. The Texans still stink. That division's pretty bad. Who is it? The Texans, the Titans, the Colts,
Jaguars.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe the Jags. Maybe the Jags will win the division.
Jags, I could see definitely coming out of there if they stay hot.
Speaking of the devil, I took them to cover this week, but they didn't cover. I overreacted to them. Who'd they beat last week?
They beat the Chargers 31-13 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
points.
They didn't get blown out.
Yeah, I mean that was just honestly incredibly ugly game with all the turnovers. The fact that was an 8-point game with the amount of, I think Lawrence had 5 turnovers. I mean that's the fact that that's an 8-point game is pretty good.
Didn't he fumble the ball 4 times? Weren't 4 of them fumbled?
I think so.
Yeah.
4 fumbles.
Oh, I was rolling because early they were up 14-0, so I was like, "This is in the bag." But the Eagles fought back. Eagles are the only undefeated team left in the entire league. We got to get Stevens on one of these podcasts to talk about them because I don't watch them. I have no interest in watching them until like important games. But
I'll talk shit on them too. I'm not buying into the Eagles hype.
They got the worst schedule in the league.
Worst schedule. They've played 3 games in bad weather.
There's no way they don't win their division, though. I don't know.
I think they'll get the 1 seed based off their schedule alone. I mean, you're playing 2 games against the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Giants. That's 6 wins right there.
I don't know, man. Cooper Rush might be a guy.
Yeah, the Giants are 3-1 too.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another Jackson. We got to talk about this one because I finally admit that you were right. Baker Mayfield is fucking terrible.
I've been waiting to hear that for 5 years because I've been saying it for 5 years every single day.
He is the worst starting quarterback in the league right now.
Did you see his presser today?
Oh, when they asked if he's working on anything to get the ball over the line.
Yeah, he's like, if you have any drills, let me know.
Yeah, I don't.
I hate everything about the dude. He's so bad. I actually thought he'd be decent this year in Carolina, but Sam Darnold's going to start when he comes back.
Well, you have to at least admit he had runs in Cleveland where he'd look semi-decent.
I mean, when you have the best offensive line and the 2 of the 10 best running backs in the NFL, I mean, I could fucking quarterback that team.
Yeah, but I mean, he has been awful. I mean, just absolutely atrocious this year. And
yeah, he's like 33rd in QBR right now.
Speaking of DeBoer, he's not on here because he's an idiot and canceled on us last minute. But he sent me a TikTok I think it was after the Browns won the Thursday night game against the Steelers, and we were 2-1. He's like, if the Browns just would have kept Baker Mayfield, they're a Super Bowl team, or like something ridiculous like that, because we were playing good with Jacoby Brissett. And I was like, dude, honestly, Jacoby is playing a lot fucking better than Baker right now.
I've watched the Browns play like 2 games this year, and they were better than any game Baker Mayfield played last year.
Yeah, he's inconsistent. He had 9 batted balls on Sunday. 9 times.
That's the most Baker Mayfield stat I've ever heard.
Another 2 picks, under 200 yards. He's terrible. So obviously they lost again. But moving on. This is Jordan's other team.
I bet on the Giants this week. Had to.
Are you gonna say who cares, Jackson?
I was about to say who the fuck cares about these 2 teams. And then Jordan said he's a half Steelers, half Bears fan.
I put a unit on the Giants. That was just a lock. The Bears are just horrible. Their offense is the worst thing I've ever seen. They're a far away from being anything competitive. It's honestly a joke. Justin Fields, what was his passing yards line? It was like 154.5, the lowest.
It wasn't pretty.
NFL history.
They said that his most accurate throws were when he was throwing backwards when they were trying to do the last play of the game.
That's crazy.
I'm just glad I don't have to hear these fucking Ohio State fans say, Justin Fields, he's going to be a guy in the NFL. Like, Ohio State's finally going to have an NFL quarterback.
Dude, but he really doesn't stink.
Dude stinks.
He's got nothing around him. I don't even
think
you can tell.
Their whole team is just atrocious. He got sacked 6 times. Their offensive line's terrible.
I couldn't even name a receiver. They don't have a good receiver on their team. It's rough.
But yeah, he hasn't looked great. But when's the last time a Chicago quarterback looked great?
Facts.
Money Mitch, baby, double doink game.
Yeah, but then he stunk for the next 3 years, and then they shipped him out of town.
I don't know. I pity whoever takes C.J. Stroud. That dude's gonna fucking suck too.
I can't, bro. C.J. Stroud is like a dog.
Okay, I've watched enough Ohio State football, dude. Do an NFL quarterback. Fucking sue me.
Do you think that Bryce Young's an NFL quarterback?
I mean, I'm not the biggest college guy, but from what I've seen, he'll be better than C.J. Stroud. He can move a little bit at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Stroud, I don't know. He's built like, he just looks like he's built like an NFL quarterback.
The only Ohio State game I watched like intently was the Notre Dame game, and he just couldn't hit anybody. He couldn't hit an open receiver. He couldn't. He looked like he looked the first half of last year.
Yeah, I mean he's been tearing up since, but we've been playing some dookie teams.
Yeah, Michigan State's fucking horrible, so we'll see what they do this weekend.
This was honestly probably the most electric game of the week, and who would have thought? Geno Smith versus Jared Goff.
Scoregami, baby, let's go.
Jared Goff's sitting on my fantasy bench, so of course he's going to ball out.
Number one offense in the league this year so far, Lions.
And they're 1-3.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Like
the
that
Seahawks,
is that's brutal.
Scored on every possession they had the ball. I think is what it was.
If the Lions even had a relatively decent defense, they'd be 4-0.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
But
Jared Goff versus what's his name this week? That Patriots rookie. That might be a fucking shootout.
Fantasy. Another thing to look for in fantasy is Jamal Williams, because Swift was out. He scored 2 tuds. Rashard Penny had 2 tuds. I mean, it could just be because these defenses are really bad and they just made average guys look good. But the real highlight of this game is DK Metcalf getting carted off the field, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, there goes another one of my fantasy guys. And then it comes out that he just literally wouldn't have made it to the locker room without shitting himself if he didn't get carded there. So I put that on his stat line. I think he should get a couple fantasy points for that. I always thought about that. Like, what do you do if you're mid-game and you have to rip like a shit mid-game?
Just fucking call the card, man.
What if your team's driving? Like,
I mean,
you might just have to let it burn.
So they were on defense when that happened. I didn't even watch this one.
Yeah. It was a good game though. I really liked the Lions, and I think Jared Goff got the short end of the stick when he got booted out of LA, and everybody is going to overreact because the Rams won the Super Bowl last year, but they went to a Super Bowl with Goff too.
Yeah, he had glimpses. He's solid.
Yeah, so they'll be all right.
I feel like people group him and Carson Wentz together for some reason, and they're just in completely different tiers.
Yeah, it's stupid. Wentz is terrible. Oh, this was a double doink game. There's nothing like a hungover 9:30 a.m. London game to get the juices flowing on a Sunday morning.
So
absolutely nothing like it.
I wanted to take the Red Rocket too. I should have.
Kirk Cousins is still the most mediocre quarterback that's ever existed.
Yeah, I'll never forgive him for that primetime game, not hitting the over through fucking 3 straight picks.
He's so bad in primetime games. But yeah, Jefferson tore up again.
That's his first good game since week 1.
Yeah, it came down to the wire at the end. What's the kid's name? Will Lutz tried a leg in one, double doink, and an L. Oh, God, I wish Port was here for this. The Bills should have lost this game.
Yeah, they should not have won. Nice comeback win for Josh Allen.
Yeah. They've had a couple dookies in a row now.
Yeah, I mean, their offense was like shredding the first couple weeks, and then they just look like a normal team. So they're coming back to earth. Oh my God, I spelled Lamar Jackson. That's tough. Yeah, but the Ravens have struggled holding leads this year. They were up 10 at half and ended up blowing it again, which is good for Steelers and Browns fans because we're hanging in the division when honestly they should be running away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, but, they could easily be 4-0.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust their defense in late game situations whatsoever.
And they're already banged up again after that shit they went through last year.
Yeah, but Lamar, I mean, he's still a beast. He did throw 2 picks, and this wasn't his greatest game, but I still think that they should just give him his contract and keep riding with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys don't just come around like him every year. You get someone like that, you got to lock him up.
But good for Port. He probably didn't lose too much money unless he bet on the Bills spread because the Ravens did cover. All right, this is another team that's kind of surprised me since Dak went out. They were 0-1 with Dak, and then Cooper Rush, 4-0 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's won 3 straight games this year. He's balling out. 2 tuds. Got CeeDee Lamb involved. I like the boys. I like the boys a lot.
Is Dak playing this week?
I don't think so.
No, I doubt it.
God,
I don't know.
I
don't know how long he's out.
Another one. I would give anything to see Cooper Rush win this week and then lose Dak's first game back just to see what Jerry Jones says.
Yeah, what happens if you get to a point where Dak comes back and they're like 7-1 with 7 straight Cooper Rush W's? Like,
didn't they only score like 3 points the first game Dak got hurt?
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, it was against the Bucks, but yeah, it was not pretty at all.
Who do they have this week? I'm trying to see it here. I can't see the Cowboys.
I think they got the Rams.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to touch on those games in a minute. These teams both stink. I did just want to point out that Geno Smith is very comparable to Russell Wilson this year. It just shows how much the Broncos gave up for him might not have been worth it, especially watching this game right now and having him as my starting fantasy quarterback. I absolutely hate him. And the only reason they have 2 wins is their defense.
Yeah. That offense just can't get going. Absolutely.
Jackson, you were talking about how you thought they were going to be the best offense in the league this year. I had similar thoughts.
5.
And we were both begging for our teams to go out and get Russ. But thank God we didn't because he looks awful.
And I got Russ in fantasy too. I'm not benching him. I know they'll finally click as soon as I do, so I'm going to roll with the punches until they get it together.
Yeah, I started him tonight just to keep this game interesting, and it's 6-3 at halftime. So obviously, I made the wrong decision again. This game went to OT.
Yeah, this game gave me almost a full-blown heart attack. This is the last leg. Last leg of my 14 parlay last weekend was Packers money line.
Oh, you had the money line.
If that was the way I was going to lose it, it was going to be.
That would have been a rough one. It was Zeppy, man.
Cold, lonely night.
Yeah, so Mac Jones was out. Brian Hoyer went down, and then he's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Rookie out.
4th rounder.
He's a dog in college. Can't remember where he went to school now.
Yeah, I mean he honestly didn't look too bad.
Puts a lot of loft in the ball, but he didn't look bad at all.
Yeah,
I mean, he reminded me of coming in. He was giving big Duck Hodges vibes coming in. Gunslinger from a small.
I thought you were gonna
small school.
I thought you were gonna say Tom Brady, and I was gonna kill myself.
Listen, the formula: 2 injuries, low round pick in the draft. I mean, if Bill Belichick pulls it off again, that man's just goated. There's nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, good for the Packers. They keep finding ways to win, but they haven't looked like world beaters yet either.
No, absolutely not.
Apparently, Chase Claypool just said, "Throw me 10 of those balls, the one that got picked off Sunday, and I'm coming down with 9 of them." I fucking hate this guy, man. I fucking hate this guy.
Why can't, like, I just feel like the Steelers receivers, and this is going back to like when it was Juju and Claypool, like they just always have to say something.
Always, man. That's why I love Pickens. He's different. He's going to be tough to handle, but give him the ball. And
yeah. All right, this was one of my locks last week. I rode with the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They were rolling all night, and honestly, the Buccaneers have a real solid defense. So to drop a 41 nuke on them is extremely impressive. And I don't know. I feel like the loss to the Colts was kind of a fluke. So I think that the Chiefs are still going to be in it towards the end of the year, making a AFC Championship push again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, their defense isn't good, but that offense is just, when Patrick Mahomes is on, they're on.
He just does shit that no other quarterback can do. Like that one touchdown in the red zone where he like was about to go out of bounds, spun back, and then just like lofted one. It's just like nobody else does that.
I stayed away from this one though. I don't bet against Brady in prime time.
I'm surprised I did, but you know, I called it. What did I call it last week? It was the Mahomes Super Bowl revenge game, and he got it done.
Yeah, they look. I can't believe Juju's not even still putting up bigger numbers in that offense.
Yeah, this was the Monday night game, and Stafford's my other fantasy quarterback, and he's been atrocious this year too. There's been a lot of really bad quarterback play this year. I don't know what's going on, but
I fucking love the Niners, man. I love how they play football.
Yeah, they got a lot of depth. They got a really good defense too.
It's
electric linebacking core.
Especially this year, you just don't know what to expect week to week because they absolutely shat the bed against the Broncos the week before, and then they just lit up the Rams. Debo had one of the craziest touchdowns of the year. Got him on one of my 3 fantasy teams, and he was lighting it up. Niners defense looks solid. Bosa, if there's anything Ohio State can do, it's put DNs in the league, and Bosa was tearing up again.
They can.
All right, so we're going to get into some of the games in week 5. This is the shitter that's on right now. 6-3 at halftime. The Broncos are up. They're favored by 3.5. Do you guys have any second half predictions?
This game might put Amazon out of business.
I bet Colts on this one. I had a nice parlay that would be looking great with Hines, except for the fact that Hines got concussed and is out for the game. But man, these two offenses just look slow. Matt Ryan looks uncomfortable in the pocket every single time he steps back, and he's got an okay offensive line. I mean, they just don't look. Neither of these two teams are ready.
What is wrong with Russell Wilson? Like, genuinely, what has changed from last year to this year where he's just literally terrible?
Who knows, man? He doesn't have that bite in him. He doesn't have any of the fucking fight that he used to have. It's like he got paid and he's content.
Yeah, it's like it seemed like the Seahawks were never out of a game with Russ. They always made comebacks, always made it a game. And
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was a Pete Carroll lighting the fire under his ass type thing, but it's been hard to watch this year.
Could definitely be a coaching issue. Hackett looked bad.
Now with the game that's going on right now, they're going to be part of 2 of the most boring games I've watched in my life. So stop putting them on prime time.
Obviously, the NFL thought they were going to be good, playing primetime every single week.
Facts.
All right, so this is the early Sunday window. Another 9:30 London game. We got 2, 3, and 1 teams. Packers, Giants. Packers are favored by 8. That's a big spread against a pretty good Giants D. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I like the Giants in that one, to be honest with you.
I've got the Giants as well.
Not necessarily money line, but I like the points.
Looking at where the money is, a little bit of sharp action, but 62% of the money is on the Packers. Favors are historically insane in London. So I definitely something to look where the line moves and trying to do. Definitely not the Giants money line. I think the Packers are going to win this game, but definitely wait for and see which side of the touchdown it's going to get. I think that's a touchdown game between those two teams. I don't think the Giants offense can keep up, but they got a pretty good defense.
Aaron Rodgers was bitching today about not having enough time to go sightseeing, like when they're over there. So I'm fucking taking the Giants. That's stupid.
Jeez.
And then next game on the slate is the Chargers at the Browns. I think I'm going to be at this one, and I think I like the Chargers.
Oh my! Going against the boys,
dude. Like I have no faith in our defense and Justin Herbert.
Playing?
He was back at practice. I don't think he's confirmed to be playing yet, but I'm going to assume Myles Garrett.
Yeah, they'll really need his half sack and 2 tackles. That should make a big difference.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Do you expect him to literally have like 8 sacks a game and just completely tear everybody up? He literally gets triple teamed and held on every play.
TJ Watt.
I know.
That's all I gotta say.
But don't forget
TJ Watt's a linebacker.
TJ Watt's not good. He's an edge rusher. But he's listed as a linebacker. He's an edge rusher.
How about how Myles Garrett literally got in almost died in a car accident and he's still back before TJ Watt's.
TJ's back next week, baby. He's playing against Tom. He's gonna finally send Tom into retirement.
But
I took Chargers money line. I did not take the points. I could very well see this being like a Browns blown fourth quarter lead game. Chargers win by 1 or 2 on a field goal.
Yeah, I just think our defense is going to get absolutely shredded, regardless of if Myles plays or not. I think last year when we played the Chargers, Herbert lit us up for like 400 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen again.
Browns jumped out to a big lead, didn't they? Blew it.
Yeah, that was a shootout last year, and of course, I think that was the Baker Mayfield special, slinging an interception on the last drive. But anything we've learned this year, if we're in that situation, Jacoby's going to throw a pick too. So yeah, I hate to say it, but I like the Chargers. Hopefully, I jinx them because I'm not going to put money on the Browns losing. But if you're looking for advice, that's what I'd take.
14-point dogs. I love it.
14-point dogs on the road in Buffalo.
Do you guys know off the top of your head who the last rookie quarterback to beat the number 1 pass defense in the NFL was?
Ben Roethlisberger in 2004.
Ben Roethlisberger in 2004.
Well, it's a shame he's not their rookie starting quarterback this week.
Yeah, we got somebody better, man. We got fucking Kenny. And I got all the confidence in the world in Kenny, man. He's going to come out slinging it.
There's no way the Steelers are going to win this game, although the value is going to be in Steelers' money line just because it's going to be massive with a 14-point spread.
Are you able to see where the money's at on that one, Jordan?
Yeah, I got you. Currently, it's like the bets are pretty much 50-50, 60-40 in favor of the Steelers when it comes to the money. So I guess a little bit more money on the Steelers spread. Got like no action on the Steelers money line though.
Yeah, because I don't. It's where the value is, but people also aren't suicidal. So.
Facts.
I don't know. What did I tell you? What did I send that tweet in the group chat last week? Nobody in the NFL is as good as you think they are. Nobody's as bad as you think they are. 14 is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points. I'm honestly going to stay away from it because Buffalo has the ability to blow people out. But I don't know. I don't like that game. Hope you hate watching.
Big Ben went in there last year and beat him. I don't know what the spread on that one was. It had to be at least.
That was a week 1 game though, right? In Pittsburgh, or was it in Buffalo?
It was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it though. Excited for the new era.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Another one, not touching Bears at Vikings. 7.5. It's a big spread. Lions at Patriots. The Pats are favored by 3 points with their third string quarterback against the highest scoring offense in the NFL.
That's insane to me. That
I don't know where that came from.
Trap game.
So yeah, I think DeBoer mentioned that that doesn't make any sense.
Sharps have slammed New England early. A lot of the money's on New England.
I like the Lions.
I like the Lions a lot, man.
I like the Lions a lot.
That's what Vegas wants you to like.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing. Something's off.
I'm not gonna say it's a lock yet.
Line movement on that. Oof.
I'm not gonna say it's a lock yet, but just to put it out there, in the 2 weeks we've been doing this, my locks are 5-2. So even though Jordan says I'm the public, I actually know what the hell I'm talking about sometimes.
Fair.
I'm not gonna lock it in yet, but just looking at it, I like the Lions right now. Another one with the Red Rocket, the Saints are 5.5-point home favorites against the Hawks. We're coming off a big win against the Lions.
Yeah, I like the Saints in that. If Kamara's playing, if they're a little bit more healthy, depending on who's out, I think I like the Saints in that.
I have no opinion on it.
I've got Seattle 5.5. It's not one I'm going to bet on, but I like Seattle 5.5. I don't know. I can't bet Andy Dalton.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dolphins are 3.5-point road favorites with a backup quarterback against the Jets.
I like Miami with the points here. I'm a Teddy Two Glove guy.
I like the Fins too. Their defense should be able to shut down Zach Wilson, and they're not going to blow it at the end of the game like the Browns and the Steelers. So I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, I'm on the Fins.
Falcons Bucks. Not only is it Brady coming off of a loss, it's Brady coming off of hiring a divorce lawyer. So
I don't know if he'll necessarily play bad enough to lose, but I love the under 46.5 in that game. That's a lock for me, under 46.5. I could see it being an ugly one.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to bet on it, but
yeah, I don't like that. It's too big of a spread.
Yeah, the Bucks they're going to win. The Bucks are going to win that game.
I could see that being like a 17-9 type game.
Yeah. One I do like, I really like the Titans at the Commanders. The Commanders have been terrible all year. It's a small spread, and it seems like the Titans are starting to figure it out. I think that's a solid pick.
Titans there. I'm not sure how the Commanders are favored are within 1.5 points of anybody in this league. They're terrible.
Yeah, so that's another one to look out for. Texans at Jags. Jags are 7-point favorites. I like the Jags. I don't know if I like the Jags 7 points, even though the Texans are terrible too.
Bump that down to 6.5. I think it's a good number.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
on the Texans. I'm on the Texans, baby. Mills Mafia. might even. Oh, it's in Jacksonville. They'll be playing for all the fucking hurricane victims and shit. They'll probably win. Damn it! I would have taken a money line if it was in Houston. Or is it? It is in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, it's in Jacksonville.
Damn it! Yeah, I can't bet against the hurricane victims.
All right, the late Sunday window. We got the Niners playing in Carolina against Stinker. 6.5-point road favorites.
I'd take it 20.5. I ain't fucking betting Baker Mayfield, man.
Yeah.
That might be one.
The 49ers there.
I mean, sure, they have to find one eventually. They've won one game, right? Panthers have.
Yeah. I think they beat the Saints in a shitter.
Yeah, they did.
But
defense balled out.
Yeah, another thing to think about here is Nick Bosa was on the team that Baker planted the flag at Ohio State against when he was on Oklahoma. So I think when the Browns played the Niners, he was all over them. I expect the same thing to happen. And if the Panthers have been struggling against mediocre defenses, they're definitely going to struggle against the Niners. So I like the Niners a lot here. That's probably going to be one of my locks this week.
I don't see a way the Panthers score over 10 points.
No, they're terrible. All right, Cowboys at the Rams. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites.
I'm riding the rush, man. Cowboys money line. I don't even want the points.
What's the money looking like on this one? I feel like everybody's going to start jumping on the Cowboys train.
66-34 in terms of the bets in favor of the Cowboys. A little bit of sharp action on the Rams. Again, it's like 60-40 money on the Cowboys.
That's a trap game.
I feel like it definitely could be in SoFi. I don't know.
Like, my brain tells me to take the Cowboys, but that's one of the ones that I would take, like, thinking they're definitely going to cover 5.5, and then they lose by 20 freaking points. So I don't know. Honestly, I think if you have the balls to take the Cowboys, why not ride the money line?
That's what I'm thinking.
I agree.
That if you're gonna make a play on that game, might as well go balls to the wall.
Super Bowl hangover's real. Stafford looks bad. Dude is literally just forces it to Cooper Kupp every single throw.
I don't like Odell, but I really think they're missing him in the slot because Stafford has no connection with Allen Robinson whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
And Cam Akers is terrible.
I definitely like a Trayvon Diggs pick this week. If anybody's into betting that, could definitely see Stafford trying to.
Stafford throws so many picks,
forcing out the stinker to Cooper Kupp, and Diggs getting an easy one.
All right, the last one before we get to the primetime games. Got the undefeated Eagles going to Arizona, 5-point road favorites.
My favorite game of the week, favorite value of the week. I like Cardinals money line. Damn. Eagles stink. They can only play in rain. Stevens, they fucking stink. Jalen Hurts isn't a guy.
AZ, they play in
Cards money.
They play in a dome, don't they?
Think
Cards
so?
do. Yeah, the game is in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's a dome. If not, I mean it's fucking Arizona.
I can't touch the Cardinals because they're so wildly inconsistent. You just never know what the fuck to expect from them.
Yeah, no beta this weekend either. Kyler Murray's going to be focused.
No beta. That was one of the things we mentioned. If you don't, any COD drop weekend, you do not touch the Cardinals. But I'm gonna stay away from that game just because the Cardinals have fucked me over before. But the value play is Cards money line.
Yeah,
Sunday night, AFC North battle. The Bengals are going to Baltimore. Ravens are 3-point favorites. Just a little history. The Bengals won both matchups last year by an average of 22 points. But before that, the Ravens had won the last 5.
I can't see the Ravens choking again, man. I originally had Bengals money line wrote down, and I'm not taking the points. I like Ravens money line. They've had too many disappointing defeats. They got to come out and win a big one.
Yeah, I think it's going to help a lot that they're at home.
Yeah.
I think in Cincy, I would have liked the Bengals, but I kind of like the Ravens here.
Divisional home game. It's pretty good look for the Bengals. Or the Ravens, sorry.
Ravens will get after Burrow, too. That line is so bad.
Yeah. Where the Ravens are bad on defense, they'll be able to help themselves out.
But I don't know. Division games do tend to be close, so like Jackson said, you might want to go for the money line. You're just going to have to cough up a little more risk to get that.
Yeah. Agreed.
Monday night game. Raiders going to the Chiefs. The Raiders just got their first win last week. Chiefs are 7-point favorites. I think that makes sense with how the two teams have played so far this year. A little history on that one. Chiefs have won 4 of the last 5. That includes 3 in a row. They won both games last year by an average of 33 points, so they just blew them out of the water both times. I like the Chiefs again in prime time. I feel like Mahomes tends to show up in primetime games. 7's a lot of points. Maybe by a half point. Hope they win by a touchdown. Ride 6.5.
I'm trying to think of a way to spin this to bet in the Raiders, but I can't bet against the Chiefs right now. They're too good.
I mean, certainly don't take Raiders money line.
No, I mean if you're gonna get them, take the points for sure.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have some player props on this game. I always put some player props on the Chiefs every week.
Yeah, so Jackson, you're in the group chat now, so send those over and we'll put them on the Twitter because that's when we usually tweet our locks and parlays and shit like that.
That's where all the actual bets are.
Yeah, my actual picks.
Yeah, so probably Saturday-ish I'll put my locks in for the week.
I do have a 4-team teaser that I've already put in that I absolutely love.
Let's hear
it. You're gonna take the Falcons plus 16.
That's so ridiculous.
Bills, Steelers over 40.5. Bills will probably score that by themselves. Maybe double that by themselves. Niners minus a half point and Cowboys plus 11.5. You can fucking take that one to the bank.
Yeah, teasers are a good way to make money too. It's just funny hearing. Oh, man, I really hope they cover 16 points.
I don't know. I was on the heater of a lifetime last weekend. I think between all of my Premier League bets Saturday, NFL bets Sunday, I was like 12-1 on the weekend. Craziest betting weekend of my life. So I'm looking forward to losing absolutely every bet this week.
Yeah, so we might have to have Jackson. We might have to have you back on to react to Kenny's first start for the Steelers.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if it goes my way, I will be
Well, I think especially if it goes my way, you're gonna have to hop back on and have to hear about it from me because I think Pittsburgh's a little overly optimistic just based off of what they saw last week. But it was his first game, so I'm not saying he's going to be the worst quarterback of all time.
But yeah, Baker's already accomplished that.
it can't like mathematically be worse. I don't think so.
I'm off the Baker bro train. I've been off of it since he left. I watched the first half when he played us, and I was like, honestly, when I'm not like Homer defending this guy because he plays for us, dude, he is so bad.
He always has been too, man. I don't know.
And it's like,
what it's not people.
It's not like he's a midget that's like Kyler Murray and he's fast. He's literally slow and fat, so he's not mobile.
And he doesn't even know that he's slow. He thought he was fast. Was the craziest part. The dude would try to outrun people, and it was just hilarious. And he'd start high stepping like a fucking goofball.
He used to be decently accurate. Every time I see him throw, it's either 3 miles over or just completely underthrown.
He's got arm strength, but
he does have a cannon
to him, man.
Yeah. Well, that'll wrap up this week. Check the Twitter. We'll be dropping our picks for the weekend. And then tune in next week and we'll do it all over again.